So the first thing that we're going to do is transfer our stitches from waste yarn onto double pointed needles. If you can use a 16-inch circular and you're making an adult size, that will work. Otherwise, you're going to need double pointed needles. So the way that you arrange them, needle 1 will have stockinette, needle 2 will have garter, and needle 3 will have stockinette. And then you're going to knit across needle 1, needle 2, being careful to observe the pattern, and needle 3. Here's my working yarn. When you start needle 1, you just leave a tail. You're not going to tie a knot or anything like that. You just leave a tail and start knitting. Now I'm over here in the underarm area and I have all my stitches. I've captured all of them. They're all on needles, and I'm going to pick up for the underarm. For my size is 6, child size 6 to 8, I have to pick up 6 stitches, but I'm actually going to pick up 8 because I want to close the gap between the stitches I recovered from waste yarn and those I'm about to pick up, okay? I'm also going to stay away from the edge because the stitches are large, and I want to have stitches that are smaller and look more like the gauge of my sweater. So I'm looking for these. They need to be away from the edge. I'm going to go in here. Here's a stitch that I can use. Whoops. Here's a stitch I can use. Now, I'm interested in this V mostly because I'm going to go through the center of the V to the wrong side of the work. So I start from the right side, I go through the center of that stitch, take the working yarn from needle 3, wrap it, bring that stitch back through to the right side of the work. I've now created 1 stitch. I'm going to pull the waste yarn out a little as I go. Then I'm looking for the next right side up V, and it's right here. I think this one will do nicely. And I'm going to go into the center of that stitch, wrap it, bring it through to the right side of the work. Now I'm going to keep going on and continue doing the same thing. And I know that I need 8 stitches. So here's 3 of 8, 4 of 8, 5. I'm trying to pick up from the same row. 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to go miss this sort of big misshapen part here and go over here and pick 1 from here. Okay, so now I've created, by picking up and knitting, I've created 8 live stitches. And I'm going to take the beginning of the round marker and put it in between the 4th and 5th stitch. So right here. And this will be my beginning of the round. This is a little snug here. Okay. So this is my new beginning of the round. It's in the underarm area. And I'm going to leave that and just carry it along with me as I work. Then I'm just going to go ahead and I've got 4 needles now, and I need to get back to 3. So I'm just going to go ahead and knit everything from needle 1 onto this new needle. So transfer these stitches over here. The first one's probably going to be loose because it's that tail that's quite loose. You can just pull on the tail to tighten it. And then keep going. So I'm going to go all the way around. And when I come back around, I'm going to do 2 knit 2 togethers, 1 on either side of the gap. So I'm going to go around here. And So now I've gone all the way around one time and I'm back at the place where I'm at the end of needle 3 and I'm going to join those 2 stitches to fill in that gap. So I've got one stitch here. I'll just move it over. And I'm going to just knit these 2 together. And if this doesn't close the gap completely later on, we can fix it from the inside. But it's going to look pretty nice. And then I'm going to knit across. These are my stitches that I picked up to knit in the previous round. Move my beginning of the round marker over, knit across these. Here's the other gap, somewhere in here. So I'm just going to knit these 2 together. Okay. And that should be it. I'm going to let this go. I'm not going to fuss with it. It looks pretty good. There may be 1 or 2 larger stitches, but I'm going to leave it. And later on, I can touch that up if I need to. Here I closed the gap pretty well on this side. There are a couple of big stitches, but I think it's okay. And that's how you start a sleeve.